You talked about your dad too, but I know there's one incident in the book that you talked about where you were. I think you were pretty glad that he was there with you at this particular juncture. You're talking about when you were a teenager and you became a murder suspect, and your dad was sort of tagging along for that one. Tell us about that, a little bit about
that. Well, I mean, he'd gone through that sort of thing when he was a young man. I mean, but so I got picked up one Sunday morning at home in Etobicoke. I'd been working in Kitchener-Waterloo area with my older brother Mike, building houses. He was a contractor and a builder, and I used to hitchhike home on weekends. And one Sunday morning, my brother came to my door and said there were two detectives looking for me upstairs. And after brushing them off initially, I went up, and there they were. And to make a long story short, they took me to police headquarters because I was accused of murdering some guy downtown in a park. And apparently I matched the description. After it happened, they solicited the area, and I was working on weekends with my dad at the old Nag's Head Tavern at the Eaton Center, plus at his booze can on Shooter Street downtown. So the park where this poor guy was murdered, beaten to death, was right near the downtown core. So apparently a bunch of guys that the cops had solicited the description apparently matched me to a T. So they came and got me, and they took me downtown to police headquarters, which in those days was on Jarvis. And they were very nice at first, and talking and asking me a lot of questions. And I wasn't freaking out because at first I thought it was a joke. I think I was kind of too dumb to realize how serious the situation was. So, and the old man was joking a bit, and he was quiet. But as soon as we're in the police headquarters, and one of the detectives said, "Well, Mr. Buffery, we're going to take Stephen up to the homicide room now and talk to him privately." And I got up thinking, "Oh yeah, these seem like great guys." And suddenly my dad's attitude changed completely, and he basically said, "You're not going anywhere with this kid alone unless I'm there or our lawyer." And the cop said, "Mr. Buffer, relax." He goes, "No." His exact quote was, and 40 odd years later, I remember it. He said, "You'll have this kid confessing to every unsolved murder in the city in the last 20 years by the time you're through with him. I know how you effing guys work."
Yeah. Right.
So at that point, the cops relented and just tried a different tack, which was eventually to take me to the bus station on Bay Street and get this one of the witnesses to walk around me and stare at me. And, although I was supposedly not supposed to look at the guy and read a book. And meanwhile, everybody in the bus station was watching me because the cops announced it. "Please don't look at this guy." So of course, they were all staring at me, right? So, and I was not supposed to look at the guy himself, but I couldn't help but take a peek at him. And then they had me walk up and down Bay Street for a while the guy stood on the other side of the street and watched me. I don't know what the hell they were expecting me to do, pull out a knife and stab in the air. "Oh yeah, that's him."
Yeah.
But eventually, after, I don't know, a couple of days, they brought me home. And the funny part of the story, if there's a funny part, was that when I left the house initially with the old man to go downtown, the cops said to my mom and all my brothers and sisters, "Don't mention this to your neighbors and stuff." Okay. So by the time I got home, we drove up our street, pulled into the house, and it was a summer day, and there was 1 million people on our front lawn, mothers, fathers, kids. And I got out of the police car, and all the mothers mobbed me and kissed me and hugged me and were crying. And my dad turned to one of the cops and said, "You want to do the kid a favor? Put him back in the cop car and take him back downtown." Because I was so embarrassed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they kept checking up on me too, Joe. Like they didn't, frankly, if you go on I don't even know I should say this, but if you go on the Toronto Police homicide site or whatever, that particular murder is still unsolved. So the cops used to check up on me a lot. Not a lot, but from time to time, From
time to time, yeah. Just make sure you're...
Beat anybody up lately,
Yeah, right. Wow, that's such a crazy ordeal, but I guess I guess they wanted to see the way you walked or, moved away from the scene or whatever the heck it was. And
the thing was too, in those days, I was a booze hound. Not anymore, and I used to get in lots of fights, and I was in trouble a couple of times. I could never fight very well, unlike yourself, but you know what it is when you're full of alcohol, you think you're the second coming of Rocky Marciano.
Yeah.
So the other thing is, too, Joe, I was in the living room with the cops, And the cop said to my mother, yeah, well, some man was beaten to death. And my mom yells out, oh, he's never been in a fight in his life. I go, Ma, come on. I was embarrassed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know? So there was some levity to the whole thing, you know?
Yeah.
And the greatest levity was they let me off, you know, so.